bookish friends, welcome back to Amanda's Bookish Adventures, and it is day 4 of Bookmas. So we have March and April's wrap up, and it's kind of like a wrap up style of a vlog where I will talk about books I'm reading currently, so I might be in different shirts, different positions, but this is the opening. So let's get into it. The beginning of March, I only read one thing in March, and March and April I really struggle with reading, and I've talked about this in other videos, but I really do. And I don't know, I go really hard at the beginning of the year in January and February, and then March and April come around and then I really struggle. The only thing that really picks up is Aurelium helps me get through April a little bit, but March I did not do so well. I will show you the cover of the novella I read and then we'll go from there. So it's called Healing the Orc's Heart by Lyron Riley. When Blizzard is conscripted to fight in the war against the humans, he assumes that he'll end up dead. That's the only possible outcome for a stubborn, arrogant orc like him. But when he's gravely injured, in a battle, it's a human woman with gentle brown eyes who saves his life. Nera inherited her skills as a healer from her father, who they always were taught her to care for. Oh, I'm sorry, it's written down. Her skills as a healer from her father, who always taught her to care for the sick, no matter who they were. When she finds an orc out in the woods, well, she has a duty to help him. But it's more than just a duty that convinces to bring him home with her and nurses him back to health too. Well, kind Nera cares for him day after day. Blizzard finds an unspoken desire slowly blooming between them, but their people are at war and Blizzard must return to the front lines or he dies as a deserter, which will mean leaving Nera forever. So Nera is a very kind-hearted widow. It's a very short novella. I gave it 4 stars, and she finds Blizzard out in the woods, and she's been alone so long since her previous husband has passed. She takes care of him, Blizzard, and they have an undeniable chemistry. Blizzard knew the troll kind orcs have animosity towards humans. In the first novella I read last year, it's like Tolkien. They interact each novella. So far, this is the second one I have read. You interact with a small scene from the first one, and then the first book, the main interest, and the orc. I think he was a troll. They was kidnapping in battles, and Blizzard was his best friend, and they both signed up for this war. And it's very short novella, and it's romance, and 4 star. It's honestly, it's like a refresher. Like when I'm struggling, I've bought this entire series, so I'm gonna try to. I do need to read volume 3 in April for Aurelium prompt that I'll talk later about in this vlog. But I really enjoyed it. Volume 1 of the novella, I think I gave 5 stars. It was a bit bigger than this one. I believe it was 200 pages. I did feel like, even though the chemistry and the romance was there, that realistically, if the spice wasn't there, it would have been a 3 star for me. If it was bigger, it could have been a 4.5, but I'll take it as it is. I read something, it made me read something. I started so many books in March, and I was in the middle, like 400 pages in a book, and then the author had so much she was releasing a book, and there was just so much bad publicity. I put the book down, and I was enjoying it, and it just kind of put me in a bad headspace with reading in general. Then I challenged myself not to read manga, and I think, because I said, like in my resets that I do every month, that I'm planning, hopefully continuing at this point throughout the year that I've done, is that basically I wanted to stop reading manga because I went so heavily in February and January. I think it kind of put me at a disadvantage. So I'm going to try to find some shorter books to help with that. I have read one thing in April. I am in the middle of books. I am kind of falling behind on Aurelium. That's okay, because I think I can do it if I just stick with books for my career. I think I can finish strong. So the one thing I've finished so far in April. It was this manga off of Libby that I checked out. It's called Miri and Mary. Inspired by the classic Disney animated film, The Aristocats, even though the wealthy young girl Mira has almost everything she could ever need, what she really wants is to find her missing parents. But this year she gets an extra special birthday gift when Marie, a magical white kitten, appears and whisks her away to Paris. Learning the art of magic is one thing, but getting to eat the tastiest French pastries and wearing the most beautiful fashion takes Mira and Mary's journey to a whole new level. I gave it a 2-star. It was so jumbled together. This could have probably been, I think they just wanted to force it together just to be one volume, because they have done some Tokyo Pop loose. Don't knock down the stand. Ooh, that scared the life out of me. Give me a minute, let me breathe. Whew. My phone's already broken. This part's not broken where it's filming, so I have a panic attack every time it's on the stand because he likes to walk past it. So, I don't even think I am saying her name. It's Miria and Marie meet on her 12th birthday. And in this volume, she's been in this world. They kind of time travel back to the past, and she finds out she's a witch, and her parents are witches and a wizard, and that's why they've never really been involved in her life. And while she's in past to study with Maria, the white kitten from the Aristocats, and you do see her mom, which I thought was kind of cute. These episodes jumped around so much. I was so confused. It took me a long time because I wasn't understanding. I thought we would like get some coursework. So you get like these little mini episodes in this manga, and it's only 144 pages, and it just it wasn't working for me. Like, it was so much content. It was cute, and I think maybe this should have been edited better. Maybe I think it is for a younger audience. I really believe this was for a younger audience, but for me, it isn't. It just did not work. I have a phone call I have to take. 2 stars, and I will talk to you later. Hi, so I'm back with my update for this wrap up for Bookmas. So I finished the Apothecary Diaries Volume 13, and I gave it a 5-star. I can't really talk much about it, but Jinxie and Mao Mao, we're getting to the stage where court politics, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're getting deeper with new courtesans coming in, and who's entering the new women entering the harem, and Jinxie's role is going to get more diverse. Mao Mao's going to learn some secrets, and the drama I am loving so much. Now, I did finish Gate to Kashimi, and I cried. I'm not gonna lie, this made me cry. I should be sleeping. I was planning to finish this tomorrow when I got off work, but no, it's April 14th and I need to get to bed, and I stayed up reading this, and I'm so wound up I might actually have to start something else or watch a couple videos before I go to bed, because this was amazing. Let me read you what the description is. Well, in Japan, researching her family's history, a vicious typhoon sends Isla Mackenzie 128 years back into time to the dawn of the Satsuma Rebellion. There she meets her ancestor and a charismatic samurai, Kai, with whom she unexpectedly finds romance. But unlike her beloved, Ilsa knows about the looming samurai rebellion and Kai's fate. Should she attempt to change history or somehow make her way back to the life she had before? It's compulsively readable, historically grounded, and irresistibly immersed. Gate to Kashima is an unforgettable tale of duty and timeless love. I'm telling you. So it says this is like the beginning of a series. I really need to... This just got released this year. Had no idea about it. My twin sister recommended this book to me. And Loki, I love her even more because I bought this with a gift card for my birthday, and this is, even though I have a comic over there that I read in January, that was my favorite book in January. I'm gonna say this is what my favorite thing I've read so far in this year. I'm just putting it out there. I cried, and there were some parts that lagged, but Ilsa and Kai's connection, how she met him, and she got so immersed with that, the culture of Japan, trying to find her ancestor. She came to Japan to find information about her ancestor to kind of keep her grandfather's memory alive, and by doing so and going on this journey, she finds a great love and she immerses herself in a historic event that was so good. And the samurai are very honorable, and this was like the end of their line, and like to read that, some of those scenes were gut-wrenching. I loved it, like every minute of it. It was my cup of tea, and I need the next book in the series. Like, we're going to travel further back into time in Japan? Are we going to go to a different country? I love this. Absolutely amazing. So I will talk to you guys later when I finish more stuff, but I thought I would update you about 2 more things I finished, and I need to go watch something to dull my brain, or I might have to start another book. I might be reading till midnight, even though I go to work tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. So I am back to wrap up a couple more things I have previously read. That is so weird. Let's move this a little bit, because I did not, sorry to kick it, I did not expect to see myself in the mirror with the phone. So I am going to have to apologize for the fan. I am filming in the office. So the person I live with, his TV's on very loud, and I came into the office where I would have filmed in my room, but half the time you can hear him in my room. And depending on the video, because he only watches YouTube, some of the audio, and his TV's on really low, but some of that audio just like shoots up really high. So I'm using the fan as blocker noise. I turned on the TV in my room hoping it would help. I also turned on the fan in my room hoping it would help. I filmed this previously and I filmed clips from my vlog, and I played back and I could hear his TV still. So I do apologize for the fan. Let's wrap up the 2 mangas that I have read. So I read Full Moon O Shite Volume 1 Saga. I'm just gonna, Sagashite, because I know I'm probably saying that wrong. Mizuki loves saying, but a malignant tumor in her throat has preventing her from pursuing her passion. However, Misuki's life turns around when 2 fun Shinigami appear to grant her a temporary reprieve from her illness and give her singing career a magical start. So I gave that a 4-star. It is a reread, but I have not read it since elementary, and it was before Goodreads time, so it's kind of cool to go back and read stuff that I read when I was younger and have it help me towards Goodreads, or even just nostalgic. Misuki has that tumor, and she loves singing so much, and she's so passionate about it that when the Shinigami come and interact with her, that basically she can have the tumor taken out. She won't be able to sing, so she has a year left, and they are there to make sure no one tries to save her, because there could have been a change in her fate. So they offer her that deal of, we will help you finish your last wish, you have a year left, and we will give you that. So no, I'm wrong. So she tells them she'll go with them willingly to help her fulfill her dream. And it's an adventures, and they're cute, and it is sweet, and I highly enjoy the manga, and I can't wait to reread it. Now this is another reread, but it's from elementary too. These both came out around 2005, but this one's on Kindle Unlimited. I did have to purchase Full Moon Volume 1 to read it, but this one, kind of cool. So it's Kitchen Princess Ominous Volume 1. Cooking up some love. Najika is a great cook and she likes to make meals for people she loves, but it's something is missing from her life. When she was a child, she met a boy who touched her heart. Now she's determined to find him. The only clue Najika has is a silver spoon that leads her to the prestigious Sika Academy. Attending Sika will be a challenge. Every kid at the school has a special talent, and the girls in Najika's class think she doesn't deserve to be there. But Sora and Daichi, two popular brothers who barely speak to each other, recognize Najika's cooking talent for what it is. Magical is either boy Najika's mysterious prince. This volume contains Volume 1 and 2 of Kitchen Princess. I gave it a 3-star. Now, I do remember, even though when I was younger and these did come out, I loved the Full Moon series, and I think back then I would have given it a 5-star. It's a 4-star now, and Kitchen Princess, I think back then, was a 3-star. From what I remember, it just did not work. Like, there was nothing I could have done to make it different. I remember finishing it, but I can't remember. I do remember bits and details. It will be kind of fun to go back and kind of get all the details, and it will help my Goodreads score on it. It was motivating to read, and it was a fun time. I do have a couple other physical books that I am reading. I'm hoping to finish some more books. There'll probably be some manga, but like I said earlier in earlier clips, I limited myself so hard in March not to read a manga, and now that I finished Gate to Kushimi and other things, majority of it was manga, but it didn't get me in the mood to read. I am currently reading books on my Kindle, off my phone, physical. I'm honestly ADHD brain. I have multiple books going at once, but it inspired the mood, so I'm gonna keep going with it, but I am gonna try to get in some more physical reading left. I'm gonna try to, I don't know, I really want to read the book over here. Hopefully I get it done, but I will talk to you next time I finish something. I know I said I was gonna finish one thing and come talk to you. I think it's kind of easier to talk to you guys about multiple things. That way I'm just doing it in one clip, setting this up. If I have to turn on the fan, it works. We'll see. But I have to admit, I kind of like the same. I mean, it's not the best background, but it does work, and it's kind of fun filming in the office. So I will talk to you later. Like I said, I'm hoping to get a 5-star. I know Gate to Kushimi was a 5-star, but I kind of want to get a couple more 5 stars before this video wraps up. So I have finished something else in April. It is Capturing the Orc's Heart, and I'm going to read the description. I did end up giving it 4 stars, and it is from the same author from the first book. I read the description, talked a little bit. It is another novella, so I'm not going to go all the way into it because it's only 162. Dishonored and heartbroken, Lieutenant Ayagara had just transferred it to the in-hospital desert of Harzan, a neutral zone between human Torkin, to work in the city guard, but he despises his now superior officer, Captain Zurali Mastering, a human woman who gets to boss him around day in and day out. It's humiliating. The tough-nosed Captain Mastar doesn't care much for the new orc lieutenant either, or his impotent attitude, which gets in the way of her all-important work, yet she senses a deep wound underneath the exterior that speaks to her own heart. Now, I don't remember, because I did talk about book 2 of this novella series, the first intro of the clip. If I talked about Edgar, he was the conflicting orc in that book with that couple, and now he comes here disgraced from the events of what happened in that book. His ranking is lower, and he has to deal with a female captain who is human, and he's not used to having humans being above them, especially after the conflict of the war ended. It's their relationship. They are fighting thieves, smugglers, and it builds really quickly. It's a sweet relationship. Yes, there's conflict with they really shouldn't, at least on Zuri's end, they really shouldn't be together because of her job position, plus the, honestly, people not liking the Tolkien and what it like represents. And it's just been so much tension between these races of orcs, trolls, and humans in this world, that when these couples deal with a lot of discrimination. I did give it a 4-star. I am kind of looking forward to later in, there isn't, because I own all of them up to a certain point, because there's 2 books, there's one book in the series that doesn't connect, like I think it is connects, but it's not in the bind up that I bought for all the Kindle books, so it's like a standalone, I don't know. There's also 2 other novellas it recommended that is not with the ones with the covers I bought. Maybe I bought, I don't know, maybe there's small little standalones later in the series that came out earlier and they just kind of fit into the series. I'm enjoying Riley's writing to the point, like, sometimes it's a 5-star. These small books have been 4, but I've read majority of her work this year, and I think, well, not this, Tolkien got me started, but I've read most of, I own a lot of her Kindle books, and I am enjoying her writing, and it's very good. I'm hoping to finish a couple more things before the month's end. We are on April, it's Sunday, we're on April 20th, and I'm hoping to finish up more stuff. I definitely want to get some more physical reads down. I think at least 2 more books, but I think majority will. As long as I read more books than I read manga towards the end of this, I will feel better, because most of this wrap up has been manga based. So I will talk to you another time when I finish something else up. But so far, I think the lowest rated was 2 stars. I'll have to double check and I'll write everything down at the end of it, like a fire wrap up, and count the pages when this is over. I think my lowest ranking for this one is a 2, and my highest ranking has been a 5-star. So overall, we're doing good for the month of April. So I'm here to update a couple more things I finished. I have finished 3 manga and a book. So the first manga I finished before the last thing I read that I updated first. Totally forgot about it until I saw my Goodreads goal to screenshot the books I finished digitally to insert in this video. So I read Food Wars, Shrinking no Sama Volume 1. Soma Yuke, old man, runs a small family restaurant in the lesser savory end of town. Aiming to one day suppress his father's culinary prowess, Soma hones his skills day in and day out until one day, out of the blue, his father decides to enroll Soma in a class in culinary school. Can Soma really cut it in school that provides itself on a 10% graduation rate? And can he convince the beautiful, domineering heiress of the school that he belongs? So his father challenges him because they do food competitions. Like, if you can do this, you'll surpass me. And I think it was like 489 losses and like against 500 of what against his father. His father goes to New York because his friend offers him a good business deal and he really wants to work with him again. I gave it a 2-star. I love the anime. The first couple of episodes I watched, and then I dipped out of anime again. But the manga, the anime is better. It just wasn't for me, and you could really tell it wasn't for me because sometimes certain mangas hit differently. So it's a series I won't be continuing, but I'm glad I at least dipped my foot in and seen if I really liked it. Let's lower you again, so the mirror, I can't really, but I might be able to tilt you down a bit better so we're not getting the reflection back in the mirror. So, sorry, this couch is a mess. I should have fixed it up before I did it, but I just decided to, struggle is real. All right, let's get to the next manga, and I read volume 1 and volume 4 of it, and I gave them both 4 stars. but I will be showing you the cover for both, but I'm only reading the description for the first one. Every time Rishi turns 20, she dies and is reincarnated to the day she gets dumped. She's been a merchant, an apothecary, even a maid. For her 7th life, she has one goal, to live a long and lazy life, but she gets a marriage proposal from the crown prince, the man who killed her in her previous life as a knight. Despite her determination to avoid the drama, here she goes again. This is an anime on the one at, I will have to admit, both the volumes I enjoyed. There's time reincarnation aspect of her reincarnation. She's basically been a duchess who was engaged to the crown prince of her country, gets dumped because it's the obvious trope of basically turning her into the villainess, and each life she's like learned so much, and every choice she makes from when she like gets reincarnated determines, like with the merchants, she made a different choice the second time in her life, so she had to start traveling. And in this life, she always dies when this war starts by this crown prince from this other country. So when he makes the proposal, she gives him certain conditions. It's really enjoyable, and I enjoyed volume 1 and volume 2. I read them both off Libby. I'm probably gonna have to purchase the rest if I'm gonna want to read any more, because Libby doesn't have them on any of the libraries it's associated to that I can check Kindle books off of. And I like the writing more, and I like the romance, but it is very similar to another one that I'm currently reading, so I might just read this all up and then go back to the other one, and like in between different mangas. Let's talk about the book I finished, Firebird by Juliet Cross. I love this book. I cried, and I didn't talk about that in the blog, but I did cry because it's really fast-paced mythology. It just fits so well. There are trigger warnings for this, and there's trigger warnings that the author says in the author note, even when I pre-ordered book 2 that comes out in April. Despite at the time this comes, I might be counting down. Hopefully the book doesn't get delayed, because it will be reread next year, but I want to listen to it this time and see and hear these characters' voices. So, from the moment Roman general, nephew of the emperor Julius Daca, laid eyes on Melina, he was enthralled. By the Dacians dancer, years later, the fierce beauty stands before him on a scarred battlefield, her life in danger. He instinctively shifts into his powerful dragon form to save her, an action that may mean his head on the imperial gate. But he and his dragon know one thing: she belongs to them. Melina can't believe that the centurion who had once bestowed a secret talisman on her is the Roman general of legendary brutality. His prowess as a warrior cannot be denied, yet it doesn't reveal the secret he hides. All Melina knows is his protection and gentle touch, and she cannot deny how her soul has always seemed to answer his. As they negate a world where flying death riders conquer and burn, their love will ignite a firestorm that they can only end in heartbreak or death, or both. 5-star. Melina and Julius, I think his name's Julius, but he's Julian. They met when she was very young, and her people were against the Roman interaction. So she met him before he became this powerful, brutal general, and he's gone through some things, and so has Melina. So when they do come back together, it's in very rare circumstance, and there is slavery in this book, just as one of the trigger warnings. So he basically invites her in as a slave to protect her, and they fall in love and try to deal with the political issues going on in Rome, and I loved it. It was amazing. The story was amazing. The battle scenes were amazing. The way the dragon lore was amazing. The way how Medusa's myth and mythology came, and how the bloodlines came and traded. If you do read this book, read the first page of the bloodlines. It describes so much that you need the information for. I had to keep going back to it, like when it talked about certain characters. And book 2, I'm really excited for. I clocked a couple things and I was so excited to be right about those things, and overall great enjoyment. I can't wait to read more from this author. And I own a book that I tried to read last year and I loved, put it down because I just got in a bad headspace, so I'm gonna have to pick that book back up. But it's a Kindle book. But so that's it for this update. There should be more. I'm hoping to read I think one more physical book. I know a lot of this has been digital and I'm very bad at that. I've bought so many physical books, but hopefully next episode we can crack some more physical down. I'll talk to you another day. So I'm back to wrap up some more stuff, and as you can see, I've upgraded a little more. I have not a ring light, it's like a better clip-on light than I've purchased before. We have a microphone that I kind of fiddled around with in my vlog for Aurelium, and I can't even hear the water noise, so that's good so far, but it's an upgrade. I still did turn on the light over there in the living room because there's not a direct light. There's the sunlight, which is great for filming, but you still hear a lot of the background noises. So I have read one more thing, and it is April 29th. Tomorrow is the end of April, so it will be the official end of this wrap up for March and April. The only thing is I'm going to have rollovers, and if I don't at least finish one more, because what I finished was another manga, and I'm not going to shame myself. It did help me. It did help me get back to reading. I've read more in this month than I've read in previous months. So let's talk about the manga I read. It was a 5-star. Let me go Kindle because I cannot write. I'm tired of writing down the descriptions. A duke's daughter, despised and outcast by all, a crown prince, feared by even the emperor. Julian is a villainess so universally hated that when she is accused of jealousy, poisoning the princess of Ash Empire, her own father leaves her a traitor to die. Traitor's death. Faced with the threat of interrogation by the infamous Crown Prince Maximum, she takes her own life. At least that's how the story ended. That's how it was supposed to end. Now reborn Julian has joined the cast and she's determined to rewrite the finale. But even if she manages to change the ending, she will need to contend with her father's pharaoh protege, a young man who sees Julian as an obstacle in his dangerous missions. So she's fallen into the death trope. She knows how this character is going to die. She suddenly realized who she was. Like, she got all her memories back from her previous life when she read this book. So she breaks up with the main lead because she blackmailed him, basically, into dating her. And it was painful because she did truly love him. So she's trying to change her personality and make friends. She's also trying to find a new husband. But she knows the relationship she has with her father that she's had, that the main characters had, and it's changing a little bit. But what she didn't realize is there was certain reasons why he was very distant from her, that it gave us a little sneak peek, and I'm sure with the rest of the series we'll see the relationship get very stronger, and her relationship with the feral protege. And he has dangerous intentions, yes, but he's never really known kindness, and she's shown him a bit of kindness, and it really intrigues him. And overall, it was really cute, and I love the reincarnation, or like you suddenly wake up and you're in the game for manga. So it is very fun, and it was a 5-star, and I'm actually excited to continue on with the series. And that's Louis moving. So I'm gonna give him a little itchy so he doesn't knock the stand. I'm petrified from the first time he's like with all this equipment, because for the speaker, it's plugged into my cell phone charger. My phone is on the stand, and then the light is clipped to my phone. I mean, without the dirty mirror, see a little bit right there. So I'm petrified that it's going to break. But the speaker is working so far. So tomorrow, if I do not finish anything up, finish another book, we will wrap up the stats. How many pages I've read in these last 2 months. My favorites, which I can already tell you I have two, and they're from the month of April, and I'll show them. And I will tell you my least favorite, Kitchen Princess. It's not going to change suddenly. That's my least favorite of the month of April. Oh no, I'm wrong. Food Wars. Kitchen Princess, I think, was a 3 stars. Food Wars was 2. I'll do that all tomorrow, and then I will edit this and we will start the next wrap up. And I'm going to start some of the vlogs for Bookmas because this, even though some of them will come before this, I've only done the wrap up so far. So I will talk to you tomorrow. So let's wrap up day 4 of Bookmas. In March, I read 1 novella and 11 books in April. So total for the past 2 months is 12 things. Very enjoyable. My favorites of April, because I did enjoy the novella in March, but it was a 4-star, was Gate to Kashumi and Firebird. And yes, I forgot them in the other room, but it's okay. They are mentioned in this video. Total pages read in these 2 months is 2,827 pages, and majority was manga. I'm hoping to get some more books, but I think my biggest goal for me will be to read my physical TBR down, books, contemporary. If I can get 15 books in May read, we will do really good. Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you've read any of these books down below and they were your favorites, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you tomorrow for day 5 of Bookmas.